fast for everybody to catch it if they aren't able to make it.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight. It looks like people are still coming in. So Roy, what do you want them to do right now?
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Take a second to chat in your name, your city, and what you're most excited about so far for the program. Go ahead, take a second, find the chat box, your name, your city, and one thing you're most excited about for the trip coming up. And we'd love to see where you're at in your anticipation for the program. And that helps us plan and answer your questions. Oh, host family. All right. All right.
All right. More people are logging in. The Lou Iones family, Kelsey, Miranda, Quinn, Maria, Tanya, Tana, Casey, Elizabeth, Ellie. Okay.
Speaking Spanish, embarking on a journey, the classes, meeting the host family. Awesome. Immersion. Yep.
Fantastic.
All right.
It's hilarious. When I was picking up our youngest, who's a 6th grader from school yesterday, she goes, Mom, what was your day like today? Because I always ask what her day was like, highlights, rosas y espinas, which you'll learn about. And she asked me, what was your day like? And I was like, well, first I flew to Ecuador for a meeting, and then I flew to Costa Rica for a meeting, and then I flew to Mexico for a meeting, teasing her and thinking it's pretty incredible. We covered 3 or 4 countries in a day planning these programs.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Incredibly. All right.
If you're just getting logged in, here's what we're chatting in: your name, your city, and one thing you're most excited about on the program. And we are going to try to honor our 1-hour commitment as much as possible because we've all got a ton going on. And so we're going to try to finish up right at 8 o'clock tonight, our time, maybe 10 o'clock your time, maybe 9, maybe 7, depending on your time zone. So all right.
This is welcome to May-December, right? It's May and December. It's crazy end of the school year. If you have family, kids, or if you are a student, it's absolutely nuts. So thanks so much for joining in. I'm going to go ahead and share. Oh, you're sharing your screen.
Yeah,
go ahead and share your screen.
Yep.
And if you missed the first meeting, hopefully you saw the recording. We are recording this tonight again, but in our last meeting, we went over introductions. We tried to figure out who was traveling with each other. We talked about and defined the word immersion. Okay. And we talked about some obstacles maybe in our learning that might happen. We tried to predict what those might be, where we were going to jump out of our comfort zone and how to confront those. And then we talked about the general schedule, that we presented optional excursions. We warned you about this lista de delincuentes, which is coming tonight.
And so shameful. So shameful.
It's a big list. And then we talked about next steps. So tonight, if you missed that first meeting and haven't watched the replay, you'll want to do that. Tonight, we are going to start with a little icebreaker, one of our favorite expressions, which we'll explain here soon. We have been diving deep into volunteer work, working with all our organizations, our volunteer organizations, to try to get an idea of what their needs are and what your guys' unique skills are and how we can blend those together to serve that community in a way that is sustainable and ethical. So we're going to jump into the Trabajo Voluntario, both Ecuador and Costa Rica. We're going to put you guys on the spot and do a little brainstorming tonight to get you thinking about the volunteer work. Okay, then we're going to spend 3 minutes with Ecuador participants to talk about our arrival plan. Costa Rica participants, when we're doing this, we're going to give you another task for 3 minutes to look at. Okay, then we're going to go over this little list right here, big list. We have your program itineraries ready to share with you. So we're going to share those with you tonight. They're on a Google Doc. And then we're going to go over, it's kind of the last chance for optional excursions. So, because we need to book those, we have them blocked, but we need to book and make a commitment because things are filling up fast. So that is where we are going tonight. That's our journey. en el sendero, on the path esta noche. Okay, so una expresión favorita de nosotros es sacar el jugo, okay? And here's a little visual image of what sacar el jugo means or where it comes from. Yeah. But go ahead in the chat if you know or you want to take a stab at what this expression means. Go ahead and put it in the chat.
Yeah, so ¿qué significa sacar el jugo in our context here on Immersion? Elizabeth says aprovecharse a lo máximo. Make the most of everything, Sissy. Yeah. Squeeze every last drop.
Stacy, yes, yeah. Squeeze every last drop.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got it. We got it.
That's right.
This is how you want to approach immersion, right? You want to sacar el jugo of all of the moments, the possible, I guess we think of them as teachable moments and you think of them as learning opportunities, but to really get the most out of the program.
Yep.
Yeah. So
even when you're jumping out of your comfort zone and things are difficult, it's just for a short amount of time. So we really want to encourage you to sacar el jugo. Okay, so now sacar el jugo, you're going to have the opportunity to get a program shirt with that slogan on the back of it. But what are some similar English expressions? Go ahead and chat them in.
Yeah, can you think of any English expressions that are kind of similar or related anyway?
And, you know, I forgot to say, we just jumped right in, but we have some participants that just registered last week and we haven't even introduced ourselves. So I'm Leslie Foster. You've been getting emails from me. This is Rory Foster.
Mucho gusto.
This is mi media naranja, my other half. Okay. My better half.
No.
Okay. And then we also have Vanessa on with us tonight. And Vanessa is another one of our trip leaders. Vanessa, go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us a little bit where you live and stuff. And this is the second time hearing. You can hang with it. Second time hearing introductions. But Vanessa, your turn.
Hola, hi everyone. I work with Rory and Leslie. I help them with immersion and with social media. I'm from Mexico. I live in Guadalajara. And yeah, I'll be traveling with you all, so that's very exciting. We'll meet soon.
Awesome. Yep. Okay, so sorry about that. We forgot to introduce ourselves to some of our newest participants. All right, Rory, you need to organize breakout rooms right now.
Okay, all right, let me get I was just putting some of English expressions.
I love it. Right. YOLO. I love YOLO. Go big or go home. Okay, seize the moment. Carpe diem. Okay, you get the idea. So we're going to pop you into breakout rooms. You're going to make a new amigo. So we're going to be in breakout rooms of 3 or 4, maybe?
Yeah, okay. 3 or 4 people.
And we want you to, first of all, let me put this document. You can jump into this Google Doc. I just put the link in the chat. So you can jump into this Google Doc because once we put you in breakout rooms, you won't be able to see our screen anymore. But we want you to focus on these 2 questions. So how are you going to sacar el jugo on the program? How are you what steps are you literally going to take to sacar el jugo on the program? And we just a fun little creative thing. It might be our next t-shirt but create your own hashtag.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a rapid speed round. 5 minutes maximo.
Yep.
Okay. To think about how you're going to sacar el jugo, how you're going to YOLO it, how you're going to carpe diem it, go for the gusto, make lemonade out of lemons. Okay. And then create your own hashtag. Get the timer ready.
All right. Yeah. I got the timer going and we're going to head off into our breakout rooms. So just make sure you unmute, turn your camera on, meet the people in your room.
Everyone has editing privileges to this document. So it's going to be a madhouse. You can edit this document. You can write down your ideas. Okay, we ready?
Yeah, so keep your chat area open so you can access that document also in your group. All right, let's do it. We're going to spend about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, all right. Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto. Ciao. Meet a new friend. Say hola. Okay. Están regresando. Excelente.
Is being recorded.
All right. Fantástico.
Algunos tienen sonrisas. Qué bueno. All right. ¿Cómo vas a sacar el jugo? Laugh
These
at
are some
ourselves.
great ideas.
Awesome.
Yeah. Push past it. Commitment to start in Spanish. So important. Form a strong bond with the host family. Absolutely. Living outside your comfort zone. Yep. Staying calm. Focus on the big picture. Breathe deep. Love it. Fully commit to immersion, limit English, pushing through the critical moments, prepare before the trip. Yep. Be patient with the process, always starting in Spanish, thinking of different ways to say things. Try everything on. Empiece todo en español. Vive sin vergüenza, without shame or embarrassment. Awesome. Stay positive for my kids who will be with us. Embrace all the opportunities for immersion. Be courageous. These are fantastic ways to
They are.
sacar el jugo.
I'm laughing. I can tell who the teachers are because you're formatting this this table as we're going, as you're doing it. Okay.
So what do we have for some hashtags here?
Okay, create your hashtags. Ooh, this might be our next hashtag. Solo dígalo.
Solo
Just
dígalo.
say it. I'll
Uh-huh.
see it. Give it 100%.
No nerves allowed. Yeah. Al
No
100.
inglés,
Yeah.
el
Viva
lado
español.
profundo. I love these hashtags. These are fantastic.
That's
Excellent.
great. Full send, pura vida.
Full
Aprovecha el
send.
día. Al 100. Love it.
All right.
Poro
Awesome.
para.
Porta para. That should be our code name for no sé, no
That's right.
entiendo.
Yeah.
Porta para. Okay. All right. Fantastic. You guys are getting the idea. Okay. So remember this conversation that we had in a month or 6 weeks from now. Fantastic. So we're going to jump right into our volunteer work. There are a lot of details. So first thing I want to say is, the pre-departure, in the pre-departure courses, the volunteer lesson is updated as of, well, it was updated last week, and then I added some things today. As we get more information from our partners in Latin America, I will continue to update that lesson and the Google Docs that go into that lesson. So just let me know if you have watched that lesson or gone in and seen the volunteer lesson. Put a number 1 in the chat. If you haven't yet, put a number 2. I just want to get a sense of who's okay. So there's some 1s, there's some 2s. Okay, good. So some people have not. All right. So this goes with being able to sacar el jugo, is being able to be prepared as much as we can ahead of time before getting down there. So we want you guys to be prepared as far as the volunteer work. So sometime this week, make time to get into that lesson and watch it. There are some major Google Docs in there that you need to spend some time reading through. Okay. But we're going to start with Ecuador. So Costa Rica people, as I'm explaining Ecuador, you guys can scroll down in this doc. Can you put the doc in the chat box again? Absolutely. Okay, so Ecuador, our one PharmD student, you will be shadowing a pharmacist in Ecuador for that first week. Okay. And then, Juan, and then weeks 2 and 3, we have a great opportunity. We, all of our participants are going to be at the same place. It's called Escuela Valle del Amanecer. It is a public school in Ecuador, in Otavalo, and teachers, you get to collaborate with the teachers in Ecuador. So you're going to assist them in their classrooms. They are really interested in knowing your go-to online tools that you use to supplement your classes, that you recommend to students. So we're going to collaborate. You're going to collaborate. It's a time of sharing and collaboration. They don't get a lot of opportunities to learn about professional growth development or additional resources outside of this tiny little town in Otavalo. So they're so excited. They have Wi-Fi, they have technology, they have a computer lab. So you guys are going to get to share your online resources and just be an assistant to them in the classroom and observe what life is like in the schools in Otavalo. Yep. It's an interesting population because you have very much indigenous populations there going to school, and then the modern world as well. Okay, so that is for weeks 2 and 3, which is the first and second week of the program. Juan's doing a little additional program in there. Yeah. Okay, healthcare. You want to explain healthcare?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So the healthcare program, the medical folks, they've requested that we do 2 things. First, give some basic well-child-like checkups to some of the kids in the school that they identify maybe don't have access to care, but need just a basic checkup. So that's something that I'd like to speak with you about while we go off into our little breakout rooms and talk about how we can do that well, what kinds of equipment you think you might want to bring down with you in order to do some of that. I did check with them. They don't have any equipment. So that's something that we'll be looking at. And then also for the teachers, some really basic first aid type stuff for school type illnesses and accidents. So a couple of the specifics they mentioned was like headaches and stomach aches are super common with kids. So essentially, in my mind, it's really just understanding, okay, what's super serious and what is something basic that can be taken care of, you know, right there at school, but what needs medical attention. So thinking in those terms. And so that's the crux of what they're asking us to do with the medical, on the medical side.
Yep.
At the school.
And that might be changing a little bit as
It might
far
be,
as
yeah.
how much we can actually do. If you notice, June 14th and 16th is the first week for the majority of you in Ecuador, Sissy, you too. And that's Tuesday, Thursday. So Tuesday, Thursday for both weeks, we'll be doing volunteer work.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Janice, you're on the, you're on the program also in those Ecuador times. And I think if you're okay with it, I'd like to find a way for you to integrate into the medical group there. Because yeah, I just think that'd be good.
Yeah.
So we could talk about that too.
So this is just a real quick snapshot of the volunteer work of the lesson. There are more details in the lesson. So your action steps, you need to open this Google Doc, which is right here. Okay. And start signing up. So it asks you, oh, we have some people already started signing up. What first aid topics can you teach? Okay, headaches. And if you can teach about headaches and what to do and when it's serious, when it needs more medical attention, then put your name here and then start thinking of what materials you need to gather. Okay,
Yep.
Teachers, I have a list of things for you to do there as well. Okay, so you're going to jump into this document. You guys can do that right now if you want while we explain the programs in Costa Rica, just a snapshot. Yeah. There are way more details in the volunteer lesson. So get to that this week. Okay, Costa Rica. Week 1, all of us will be together and we're working with SEDCIS. SEDCIS is an organization that we go in depth in detail in the pre-departure lesson. They have been established since 1985 in Costa Rica. They're run by Costa Ricans. It's a long-term permanent project in Costa Rica. Our first week, we're going to get an orientation to the SEDCIS organization. We've been working with them for several years. We're going to have the opportunity to, this is optional, but to purchase and assemble donations, food and basic living baskets called canastas básicas, and then bringing down additional clothes and school supplies. You guys can read about that. And then we're going to see the realities, the population that they are working with in one of the largest shanty towns in Costa Rica, 80,000 people. It's called Guarari. So that's the first week. All of us are going to be together. The second week in Costa Rica, we have we have 2 different volunteer activities. Okay. Medical participants and teacher participants, we're going back to SEDCIS, and teachers are working with a small group of kids, not small, about 50 kids over 2 days that are in their Semillas de Amor, so Seeds of Love program. These are consistent kids that show up every week for tutoring, for educational support. And so we're going to do some learning fair activity stations with them. Okay, medical, these are charlas, which are interactive conversations, chats that they have requested. Okay, sexually transmitted infections, especially the ones that are not as common, not as talked about, I should say. And then the importance of breast milk and milk formulas and how they should be used. So I have a question in about exactly some more details about this. So we'll update that. But one example was they sometimes run out of milk formula and so use soy milk to supplement for babies, or their kids are on formula for way longer than they should be. Yeah. So,
there's more. We'll provide some more details for this because there's some other stuff that's like this leche de pinito, which is a different
whole milk,
dried milk that folks are using. But we'll give some more details for this as we get
it. So we'll meet with them about these probably next week. So we'll get more details about that. Okay, our family and adult participants, you guys are doing, it's called Campamento Lapa Green. And during the first 2 weeks of July, the whole school system in Costa Rica is on vacation. And so there is a population in Santo Domingo that is bajos recursos, so low resource, meaning that maybe both parents or parent guardians work and these kids don't have a good place to go. They can't afford like a day camp or actual take a vacation. So we're hosting a day camp for these kids. We've done it for several years in a row. It's fantastic. You're going to read about it, but families and adult participants, you guys need to be thinking about what's an activity station that you want to run. So 30 to 40 kids will come each day. Over 3 days, and they'll rotate from station to station 20 minutes. And so what's an activity? We've had spike ball, we've had making slime, we've had doing volcanic eruptions, we've had soccer dribbling skills before, we've had math bingo before, we've had skits, we've had friendship bracelets.
Yeah.
So especially for the families involved in this immersion program, this is an opportunity for your family to come together, plan an activity, and teach it to elementary age kids.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Week 3, I know I'm going by really fast. This is just a snapshot. Week 3, our teachers there's either this or this right now, but we will either be in Costa Rican classrooms, okay, depending on the COVID restrictions, if the volunteer restriction has been lifted or not, still waiting, or we'll run the second week of the Campamento Lapa Green, which is what the families and adults will be doing the first week, okay? And medical and family, you guys will be at SEDCIS working with those kids again.
Yep.
Okay. Week 4, there's more details in the lesson, so get in there. Week 4, our teacher participants, you are in schools, hopefully, okay, working with schools, seeing how schools are run in Costa Rica, assisting teachers in local schools, and family, adults, and medical, you have special activities with this one.
Woo! Yeah, we'll be doing some more cultural type stuff, going out and seeing some sites and exploring and doing some fun things together. Yeah.
That's right. So in the volunteer lesson, there are some resources for you, some Spanish resources, and Rory's going to add some Quizlet sets that deal with first aids, things so you can start learning that vocabulary. Okay. But here's the deal. Our next meeting after this meeting is June 8th. So in about 3 weeks or so. And so you're going to, in breakout sessions, you guys are going to practice your activity in small groups, just like a dry run, or at least explain your idea to someone else and start thinking about this. Will start helping to formulate your thoughts, especially if you have to practice it in Spanish and you have to think about, oh, I don't know that command yet, or things like that. Okay, so you're going to get some practice in before we get down to Costa Rica.
We've got a couple questions in the chat about the Ecuador and the weeks and stuff. And so, okay, no, June 11th is really the first week, but there's a pre-week for Juan to fit his pharmacy rotation. He's starting a week earlier than everyone else. Okay, so it's like a pre-week. So no, sorry for the confusion there, but no, everyone's in the right spot. Yeah, pre. Just call it Juan week.
Juan week. I like it.
Yeah,
Juan week.
Juan week.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, and I love your capitalization, your use of caps. That's really good, huh? All right, muy bien.
It's like my spelling in front of students. Okay. All right, perfect.
All right.
So your action steps for both groups, Ecuador and Costa Rica, is to get into that Google Doc, watch the volunteer lesson, and get into the Google Doc and start thinking of your activities or your charlas, which are your workshop things. And we are here to support you. We'll keep uploading Spanish Quizlet sets and things like that to support you. All right.
All right. We're ready. So what I've done is I've created a handful of breakout rooms, and you're going to choose the room that fits your category. So I'm going to go ahead and open the rooms so that you can see them. The rooms are based on country and category of how you're traveling. So we've got Costa Rica families, Costa Rica educators, Costa Rica medical, Costa Rica general. Okay, so you find the group that fits you and jump in there. Then we've got Ecuador medical and Ecuador educators. So Janice, if you don't mind jumping into the Ecuador medical, that'd be awesome. And then also Nicole, if you could jump into Ecuador medical as well. And then Lily. Everyone else, head to where you're going to be. And I'll open these up as soon as we've got everybody Everybody in there?
Caitlin, that's a good question. So there's a handful that are combo participants, more than a handful, but what should we do for going to both countries? I would say just
start with Ecuador.
Yeah, start with Ecuador for now. Okay, we're coming back from chaos to more chaos. No, that brainstorming session, answering your questions, it will become more clear once you get in and watch that lesson for sure. Get into the pre-departure lesson. Some common questions I just want to answer real quick, and then we got to move on.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. For the teachers that are doing and the families that are doing the camps, and the SEDKIS, they're working with kids. You can expect 30 kids each day, 30-ish kids each day. We're going to have, depending on how many stations we have, maybe 5 stations, 4 to 5 stations each day. So you can expect 3 to 5 kids rotating at each station. Okay. And you're going to stay at your station and you're going to teach 30 kids, okay, throughout one day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that would work. Okay. So to plan for materials and things like that. Any common questions you need to answer?
No, I don't think so. Yep.
I didn't get to get into all the rooms. You didn't either,
nope.
But be sure to get into that volunteer lesson. And then I think a lot of these details will become more clear. There are a lot of details. So I encourage you to just take your time and go through it and start planning ahead of time. So things to start planning is identify your charla topic or your activity topic. And then start thinking of what are high frequency words, commands, verbs that you need to say in Spanish. So write it down a list in English and then start looking up those words in Spanish. And that'll give you a great head start. There's an activity lesson plan template to follow that you'll find in the lesson as well. Mm-hmm. And by June 8th, you should have a rough draft of what you're going to be doing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you ready?
Yep. I'm ready.
All right. Los itinerarios are right here. Okay. Am I sure? I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So I'm not going to open them right now, but you can open them and we're going to link them in your pre-departure course. Many of you have been asking. They are
in the sidebar already of the pre-departure courses.
Many of you have been asking, where do I find this information? Where do I find the replay? Where do I find, these Google Docs? It's all in your pre-departure course.
You know where I probably do need to link the itineraries in our Welcome Hub.
In our Welcome Hub.
So I'll make sure that those are linked up in there.
Yeah, those are 2 important links we'll drop in the chat that you guys should have and bookmark and refer. All your program information's in your Welcome Hub, all the paperwork that you guys need to be doing, and all the expectations for host families and volunteer lesson. And when you get your host family assignments, it's all in your pre-departure course. Okay. But here are your itineraries. We're not going to go through them. You guys can go through them day by day. I will say, and there's a warning, it's a live document, meaning that plans change. And so it's a Google Doc. We will be updating it frequently, but you can get a good idea of your day-to-day schedule in these itineraries right here. All right. Ecuador, important notes. I'm going to go really quick, and then I'm going to ask Ecuador participants to go ahead and do your part on this Google Doc. Otavalo is our home base. Yep. Where you fly into Quito. It's about an hour and a half away. So we can't be doing multiple airport runs. So we need to know your plan. For example, Juan, we know your plan. Corinne Johnson, some of you are arriving like 2 or 3 days ahead of time. I don't know if you want the language school director to pick you up 2 or 3 days ahead of time, or if you're doing another excursion. So you need to let us know what your plan is. There is a large group, 19 of us, that arrive on June 11th. Out of those 19, 16 or 15 of us arrive at midnight, just before midnight on June 11th. If you arrive at June 11th, okay, you are going to stay in a hotel with us. And then the next day we're going in a big bus to Otavalo. Okay. Yep. The next day. So, this is my list of who I know. There's 20 of us that arrive on June 11th. This is my list. If you also arrive on June 11th and want a room at this hotel, I need to know that to make sure that you are booked at this hotel. So you can go ahead and put it down in this document right now. And then, okay, I have these figured out. These are the people that I don't have your flight information. And so I don't know what your plan is. And then Corinne Johnson and Tanya I'm not quite clear about your plan either. So just please write it down, send me an email or write it in this document so we know. Okay, then, Roy, are you monitoring the chat?
I am. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, you want to get over you want to do the lista de delincuentes?
Sure. Yeah. All right. So we've got paperwork that needs to be turned in here. So oops, Leslie's got a link here highlighted where you can check your status and possibly, if you submitted some things today, possibly we didn't get to it, but on this link here is going to take you to this page where we show, you choose the program that you're on. This is all of the paperwork for the whole program. So travel registrations, we've got a handful of folks. Maybe you submitted it today and we didn't get the list updated, but travel contracts. So we've got, a lot of folks on this list. So please, if your name is on here, then let's go ahead and make sure that, you get your paperwork turned in. We've got final payments, big list there, flight itinerary. Now, there's a chance that you sent it in and it got lost in the ether, or you uploaded it and someone didn't see it. So just let us know if your name's on this list, but it shouldn't be. Just let us know.
We're humans.
And, yep,
we make
yep.
mistakes and miss things.
There's a lot of paperwork going around, so there's a chance that it got missed. And so again, copies of the passport, all of these are lined out here. Every, COVID vaccination cards, placement tests, of all of these, the placement test is pretty important because right now is the time when we are making a guess at what our actual groups are for classes and making sure we've got enough teacher coverage for all of the classes. And it takes time to do this. So if you haven't completed your placement test, please do it right away so that we can make sure that we've got enough teachers planned for the program. Additionally, for Ecuador, the volunteer site, we've got to have your resume or CV. So send that in so that we can get you integrated into the volunteer work there. Okay.
We know that there's a lot of paperwork. We're at the point where we have to have these things in order to reserve your host family, in order to reserve the language classes, in order to continue our work doing the volunteer work. So please do not wait any longer to get this stuff in. We want to continue to plan this program day by day, but we have to make sure that we have enough host families, which comes from your registration form. We have to make sure we have enough Spanish teachers. You guys get the gist. So please get to this. This weekend would be fantastic. Here is also a list of people that have signed up for optional excursions. This is kind of like your last chance to sign up for optional excursions because we need to book those hotel rooms and those tours. Things are booking really, really fast. We're about a month to 6 weeks out. Usually at day 45 is when we have to sign the contract, sign the line. Okay. And I'm going to keep scrolling here. So your next steps, okay, you need to complete that volunteer lesson, sign up for a project, get your ideas down about the Charla work that we'll be doing, and be prepared to do a dry run, a rehearsal on June 8th, okay? Ecuador participants, if you want to do volunteer work, we have to have your CV. So you can check and see if we have it in this paperwork document right here, okay? Awesome. Complete your placement test. We're asking by this Friday, if possible. That would be fantastic. That is tomorrow. Okay. By the end of tomorrow or the weekend. Okay. Paperwork. Again, you can check all your paperwork, payments, last calls for optional excursions, host families. You'll get your host family assignment a week, I would say a week before you depart. Okay. We, just so you guys know, Costa Rica participants, we are leaving here on June 11th. So after June 11th, we need some time, some margin to get our own family ready to be gone for the whole summer. So I would say after June 1st, we really will be focusing on getting all the details wrapped up. So, details that are hanging past the 11th just get harder for us to coordinate because we're
full on with the group in Ecuador. And so we just have less time in the office, time with the computer and stuff to take care of things. So if we can get all this stuff done, the sooner rather than later, that's great. So let's go through, Leslie, some of these questions in the chat area. And let's see here. Trying to find where we
Okay,
started.
Sissy, how far in advance do we have to let host family if we want an extra right now? If you are coming in an extra day or staying later, we need to reserve that time with your host family. So we need to know ASAP. If you are staying extra, it's a $35 per day charge with your host family. All right.
I'm just going to address something from the medical group in Ecuador. Yeah, we do have some scope things to figure out, and I need to follow up on this conversation with you guys in the Ecuador group. We are not going to be providing treatment. I think that's going to be really clear, but we will help identify maybe some things that need treatment. I think that's going to be our best approach for those well child checkups.
Where to sign up for optional excursions? Again, in your pre-departure course are the dates and links for all the optional excursions. So log into your pre-departure course. That is your hub. That's where you're finding everything. Let's see. Nicole, you've got a question in there about the June 12th North Carolina kids on the list. If you could specify what your, I don't understand the question. So if you could specify there, that'd be great. We can answer it. Excursions in Costa Rica, Juliet. Yeah, so those are in the itinerary, hun. Are all those lined out on the weekends, those excursions? Yep. So from the itinerary, Juliet, you can see what's going on when, and then and then you can get signed up there. And I just said it's in the pre-departure course. Yeah, in the pre-departure course also. Yep. Yes, Casey, if we're there for 2 weeks, can we go to Cebu Chocolate Tour the second week? Yes, on Fridays, it's kind of like a reserved Cebu Chocolate Tour. So Fridays you can if you miss the first week. Absolutely. Yeah. What is the deadline for excursions? This weekend okay? Yes, this weekend is okay. I get it done this weekend. Okay. And Pragati has a question about the Isla Tortuga, which is the one-day trip to that island. It's a day on the beach. It's a long day on the beach. Saturdays tend to be good days for that. Could be a Sunday also. I think we've got some folks that are going to go Saturday, July 2nd to Isla Tortuga instead of going the full weekend to Manuel Antonio. So that's an option, but really you could choose any weekend day that you want during the time that you're there to go to Isla Tortuga, and we'll help you get it arranged so that you can go and have that fun day on the beach. And then Liam, where do we sign up for weekend stuff? Yeah, so there are all links through the pre-departure course where you can get off to those. For all our educators, you can get graduate level credit through Adams State University. That opens up on May 15th. You'll register directly through Adams State University. I will be sending out a link where you register through Adams State University by May. I think May 15th is when their summer term officially opens. So after this week, beginning of next week, I'll be sending out that link. All right, and let's see here. If you're not doing an excursion over the weekend, yes, you are able to hang out at your host family, and your host family would absolutely love that. They'll probably want to do something with you. So that's a great question, Kristen. So Denise has a question there about CME per week. There's 20 CME credits for the week, Denise. And let's see. Oh, how do we know if we need an extra day with the host families? Good question. So the host family week is basically Saturday to Saturday. So if you're coming in on a Friday, that's an extra day with your host family. If you're staying on through Sunday, that's an extra day with your host family. So the host family week is basically Saturday to Saturday. All right, let's see. Someone asked, where do we find the pre-departure course? I'm just going to drop in the link to your welcome hub where you can find all this information. Elizabeth has a question about local currency. Where do you find local currency? So for Ecuador, the currency is dollars. So you're fine there. For Costa Rica, the currency is colones. The recommendation is not necessarily to
to change money here in the States before you go, because it's just a really bad exchange rate usually, and it's expensive to do it. So just have some cash on you, some dollars on you. And then when you get to Costa Rica, we'll have plenty of opportunities to visit ATMs, and you can pull out some dollars or pull out some colones from the ATM in Costa Rica. So that's the recommendation. Ecuador, you don't need to worry about it because it's all dollars, but then in Costa Rica, you can just use the ATMs for colones.
Nicole, I'm totally aware of your plan, so we can talk about that between Maddie and Lily. And Alexandra asked if we're traveling from Ecuador to Costa Rica, are there group travel plans at play? Yes.
Alexandra, yes, I will share with you the flight itinerary. It's an Avianca flight. It's a direct flight from Quito to San Jose. It's in the afternoon. So I'll share that with you. We should probably have that somewhere in the itinerary
on the welcome hub. Put on the welcome hub.
Yeah. All right. So I'll put that on the welcome hub and share those details. But get them to you also, Alexandra, so you have those. Okay.
All right. Rory and I are sorry to rush out of here, but our daughter is in the state semifinals game right now. And so we are going to go rush off and watch her play. And we will take your questions. If we didn't answer questions here, we'll be sure to answer these questions when we send out the replay.
Yeah.
Please, please, please send us an email, or as many of you have our text numbers too. We're happy to answer that. We are so excited to go with you guys. There are a lot of details in the works right now. And so whatever you can do to get done this weekend, whatever paperwork would help us out tremendously. I want to thank you in advance for helping us out. Muchísimas gracias. And what else?
Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto. Okay.
Yeah.
Que saquen el jugo.
That's right.
All right.
Buenas noches.
Hasta luego. Buenas noches.